If he made bubbles in the bath, somebody would report on it, and you know what I mean. Here is his nibs. Here is Donald S. Cherry. What do you say, Grapes?
How you doing, guys? And Cabrera, the best thing he ever did was Hamilton getting sick or whatever happened to him because he wouldn't have won it.
Wow, you are full of commentary, aren't
Man,
you?
you're just messing with everybody, Don. This is you need to get back to work.
And listen, Dallas Eakins, what would he say about Cabrera's body? And he seems to be doing all right.
Well, it is baseball as opposed to hockey, and as I think I've heard you say before, baseball players are not real athletes.
No, not me. I didn't say I love baseball. They go by the old tradition. Are you kidding? Throw at their head if you got it, and they just kind of turn a blind eye. They keep all their old traditions. That's what I like about baseball. I love it.
Okay, the first question I got to answer here, Don, is you and Twitter. Okay. Now it was suggested that you didn't type this yourself. What is your relationship to Twitter? How direct is it?
No, what?
And I didn't know what it was. And in the play, Trevor Pillin, the boss, CBC, came to me in the playoffs last year and said, "Listen, a lot of guys got your name out there saying things. We want to have you have a Twitter." And I said, "What's a Twitter?" So anyhow, he said, "What we'll do." And what I do, as you're right, I don't do that stuff like McLean and all that. What I do is I phone into the boss. If you want to know anything that's going on in CBC, Kathy Broderick, I tell her what I want, and then she types it in, and that's what happens. That's all I do, and I didn't think it was that big a deal until this happened, to tell you the truth.
Well, but you said it, though, on Twitter, though,
I did, and I mean every word of it. And you say, well, why would you do all this? I love this kid. I've been out twice this week, for crying out loud, seeing guys you're going to be talking about in 3 years. And I knew him when he played for the London Knights out there, and he played a minor midget there. I used to see him. So I was all excited. He's going to come to the Leafs. He had a great training camp. He led the team in scoring. He was plus 6, more than anybody. And then he gets ripped to shreds and gets sent down, saying he wasn't defensively very good. He was plus 6. And then I pick up the paper, and I see, I know Dallas didn't say this, and he gets the National Hockey League. He's got to learn what's going on. You don't say anything like that to the media. And I see the kids, you can see the hurt in his eyes, Fatso, front page, and Chubby. And I went a little nuts. And I make you a promise right now on Coach's Corner, I will never mention his name again because I think I'm hurting the kid's chances, to tell you the truth.
Oh, Kadri's name.
Yeah, I'll never mention his name again. The first time I've said this on Coach's Corner because, it's absolutely ridiculous to say his eating habits and that. He was at Roberts. Gary never lets any floaters there. His Stamkos, Skinner, Stahl, Neal, Mike Smith. You've got 15 guys there.
Oh, no, if you're working with Gary Roberts, he's going to get you in shape.
Oh.
He won't let you be. Yeah. Oh, man, I know that.
Okay, Don. But what I got to understand then is, if a coach does that, if a coach says something like that publicly in Toronto at a time when the big team's not playing and there's all kinds of attention and it's otherwise very, very quiet, you understand that that's going to cause ripples, that's going to get noticed. And you don't just do that casually, do you? Aren't you trying to fire a rocket at the kid for some kind of reason?
Can I tell you a story about Ricky Middleton? You know all about Ricky Middleton,
sure.
50 goal scorer. He was in New York, and we got him for nothing. We traded him for a guy that was the end of his career, and the reason was he was just not acting right in the whole deal. So he comes to training camp, and I see him, and I coached against him when he played for Providence, and I had Rochester, coach of the year, by the way. Anyhow, he was nice and thin and the whole deal and everything. I come to our camp. I mean, you look like Porky Pig. So I call him over, and I say to him, Ricky, you look a little heavy. You lifting weights? He says, no, I just had a good summer. Well, believe me, I was absolutely merciless on the guy. I worked him after practice. I called a practice one time that, you could come if you want and all that there, and he didn't show up. I mean, I got him. It was cruel, but the press did not know. I said, well, what do you think he's going to do? I said he's going to be great. He's going to score goals. You don't let the media know stuff like that, your own players. And Dallas is going to the National Hockey League. There's no doubt about that. But he can't do stuff like that. And I don't understand it. You said it earlier, Stephen. Why would you rip this kid for 3 years, your number one draft choice, and then when you go in and you say, well, we want to trade him, and the guy will say, well, what do you want? Well, I want a first rounder. He says, what are you, nuts? First rounder, you've been knocking him for 3 years. He's no good. I mean, it's ridiculous to do stuff like that. And I know I did the same thing with Zigomanis, and I think I hurt his chances too. So I do get carried away, but I love guys like that.
Did you ever?
I get very upset.
Don, did you ever use the press? Not about a guy's conditioning, but did you ever send a message to a player through the media just because you knew you thought it might work?
No, I can't. I got to tell you a story though. But I used to have fun with the media. That I come to Toronto one time, and there was a guy who said, "Geez, I hate to go to the game tonight. I got a hot number." And I says, "Well, look, here's what I'll say. If we win, I'll say this, and if we lose, I'll say this." So I get along, and so I give the same what I was going to say. I get along with the media pretty good. They got a job to do, and I have a job to do, and I never would use them like that. I can't remember. I'm trying to remember, but I can't never.
Because some coaches have done it, right? They've certainly used it to call guys out or humiliate them because they thought that was a motivating tactic. If
I didn't want a guy, I got rid of him. And I never, in the press, the only guy I really knocked was Hardy Astrom. And he asked for it. He was the only guy in Colorado.
He asked for it.
I don't see any sense in knocking your own guys all the time. I mean, and this has been going on right from the training camp, saying things like he creates opportunities for both teams. What's the point? And I'm a player's guy all the way, and and I'm out with these kids, and when I see them get knocked, I get a little carried away.
So, I have to assume that you have at least whatever your issue with Eakins is. You had some issue with Ron Wilson, who clearly didn't want him on the big club.
Ron Wilson, I had a lot of issues with Ron Wilson.
Me too.
Want to go, first of all,
Me too.
He was telling the guy, I forget which was. I think Francois wanted him to stay back in, and he wanted him to come out. So you have these two kids, the monster Scribbins, and you have Raymer. And first of all, their coach is telling them to come out, and their goalie coach is telling them to stay in. I had a lot of things with Ron Wilson right off the bat. When he came here, an American said that he was going to change our culture thinking around here. Who is he going to tell us how to go? So I have Randy's going to be pretty good, but no, I never liked Wilson right from the start. I didn't like his attitude. I thought he was, and I didn't like him when he coached Team USA. A few things he said when they beat us in Montreal. So, yeah, I had a lot of issues with him.
So do you think, in your opinion, should Burke have stepped in and said to Wilson, I want this guy on the team, and I want him to play?
Absolutely. I mean, he's the boss, and you have to
Yes,
do
he
it.
is.
I remember that happened to me in Boston, and I just hated it. I couldn't get Mike Milbury on the team, and he says, Mike Milbury goes down. Mike Milbury's been our best defenseman. He says, Milbury goes down. I had no choice. And sure, he should have stepped in. He said, this kid, have you seen him score goals? I mean, this guy's got magic hands, this kid. I've never met the kid, so it's nothing like that. I love the Leafs. I grew up as a kid, Quaker Oats, Bach Tops, and all that stuff and everything. And that's why I get in trouble saying stuff about them, because I want them to win. And they're not going to win, and I don't know if they're going to win this year either. Big no improvements whatsoever. Their only choice they ever got going is if Reimer comes back playing the way he wants to play. For instance, Wilson. Okay, we'll go with Wilson. You asked me about Wilson. Reimer's been out a month and a half. He was dynamite up until then, till Gianna hit him in the jaw and knocked him out, and he was out a month and a half. So now he comes back. You start him in Minnesota, maybe Columbus or Florida and that. Get him away, nice little road game. He starts him in Boston. Boston was smoking at the time, and you know how they treat goaltenders when they go into Boston. He starts him there. It doesn't make sense, the whole nonsense that was going on. If they think I'm going to go on CBC and say, our nice things about the Leafs, because the Leafs, let's face it, Leafs are the number one in this city, and they have a lot of power in that. Day comes that I can't say what I think, and every night I start worrying about my job. It's time to me to go back to the pick and shovel.
Do you think, though, Don, in this case, in the Kadri case, do you think this is just Dallas Eakins speaking for Dallas Eakins, or do you think that that's an organizational opinion, that Brian Burke, who we haven't heard from on this, but do you think he would speak out of turn if he thought that Brian Burke felt completely differently about Nazem Kadri?
You know what I think? I'll tell you what I think. I think Dallas, he's been in the minor leagues like that, and I was there for, 1,000 years. I didn't really think, he never thought that it would get blown out of promotion. He's a good coach and everything, but he never thought. He was expressing his own, hey, this guy, you think he'd come to camp a little in better shape, but I don't know. I think it was just his own. He didn't really mean to really hurt the kid, but he should have realized that this kid has been hammered for 3 years, and the press. Now you saw the press right after. I mean, the kid almost had tears in his eyes. I felt so. That's when I saw the press after him, and he's trying to do his best. It was like somebody pulled wings off flies, And I said, I don't think Dallas really realized, but he will realize when he gets to the National Hockey League, you can't do stuff like that. You cannot rip your players, and because the media just loves it. They picked up and jumped. Fatso, big headlines like that. You guys, son, would you like that?
No, I guess the other thing, I guess what I'm getting at here, Grapes, is the other possibility, of course, is that Eakins knows he's not going to be the head coach in Toronto. He got passed over. So, maybe he doesn't have to sit there and wait for Brian Burke to tell him to say it. Maybe he's wants to step up and create his own identity here and start auditioning for jobs in other places.
Well, it might be like he's trying to impress everybody, but I don't know. I think he just said it, never dreaming that he'd. But he put them in the finals, except that he run into that Norfolk. But he'll be there. No, I think he just did it on his own, never dreaming a guy like me would pick it up. But he should have realized that was. He should have realized that Kadri is a big thing in this city.
With Donald S. Cherry. So, assuming we have hockey this year, and that's a big assumption because I'm not. I'm 50-50 on whether these guys are going to even play this year. But
don't say that. I don't get paid.
Well, I hate to tell you. Oh, what's the matter? You don't get paid?
I don't get paid. McLean gets paid.
What kind of a deal have you got?
I don't know. I'm stupid. But I work for Hockey Night in Canada. And he works for CBC. How do you figure that? And the last one, I never got a cent. So I'm one of those guys that I don't get paid.
Well, why don't you come over to?
People hurt.
Well, quit that joint. Those cheap bastards won't pay you. Come on over here. We'll give you some money.
Yeah, we got all kinds of stuff over here.
I'll be on. I should come in with you guys.
Well, you come in any time. It's nicer here anyway.
Yeah, you got a nice set now. It was.
Oh yeah, you should see it. It's beautiful.
We pay great. It's spectacular money.
Oh, big dollars, Grapes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Roger's got nothing but money.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
All right.
Nothing but money. They don't give it to the Blue Jays either, so we get it all. So let me get back to the point here, and I can't even remember what it was. So, Burke.
Oh, yeah.
So if you play this year, does Brian Burke have to make the playoffs to keep his job?
You can't miss 5 years in a row. This is it.
So if you were Rogers/Bell, the unholy alliance that now owns the team, most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of, would you fire Brian Burke if he doesn't make the playoffs?
Well, there's no question he won't be here if he doesn't make the playoffs. I mean, he can't go 5 years in a row. I went to the seventh game in overtime with the Montreal Canadiens Stanley Cup wins, and I had let go. You miss the playoffs 5 years in a row. I mean, I'm not picking on Burke because I'm laid off him and everything, but I mean, he doesn't even expect that himself.
You wouldn't think
5 years in a row.
You wouldn't think so, at least, would you?
Well, what do you guys think?
Oh, no, I mean, I think that you could have made a case to, and I like Brian, but I think you could have made a case last year to let him go at the end of the season.
Hey, Brian Burke and I, at one time, we were bosom buddies, as they say.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he used to send me, he did a thesis or something. He went to Harvard or something, eh? And he did it on Nelson, which is one of my heroes.
Oh, yeah.
And he used to send me books on Nelson. He used to send me St. Patrick's Day cards and stuff like that. And, we were really Irish guys, all friends and everything. And we're not now.
No, now it's, well. Do you like hunting?
Hunting?
Yeah.
No, I don't like killing things. I don't understand.
Me too. Well, he likes hunting. See, Brunt kills fish.
I gently put them back.
I fish, yeah.
Yes, he does.
Oh, you kill fish too?
Well,
wow.
you release them. I release them all the time.
See, there you go.
Oh, yeah,
Bob.
sure. And then what happens?
What?
Well, when you release them, what happens to the fish?
Well, he swims away.
Oh, really?
Thank you, Don.
And they're okay. You know that for a fact.
Well, wait a minute now. I know what you're getting at. You use a barbless hook.
Yep.
And I go up north and I fished up in Feudney Lake and stuff like that with barbless hook.
Really?
And you bring them in right, and you use the net. Now you can't just some of these shows that they do.
Yeah.
They kill them coming in; they're half dead. But if you use them right, you know what you're going barbless hook, and you bring them in, get your pitcher, and put them back in the water. You're all right.
Darn right. See, Bob. Now then, I've been telling you this for years, and
you are a bunch of fish.
You hear it from Don, you're going to believe it, right?
You're all smoking from the same pipe.
It's the truth. The one thing that they used to do in those bass tournaments, they catch them away out in Lake Ontario. Then they'd bring them back into Kingston, and they'd let them go around the docks in Kingston. Well, they had no chance. But now what they do in those things, and I'm not crazy on those contests, believe me, but they take them right back out in a great tank, and they let them go where they caught them, where it's nice and deep. So it's pretty good that way. So I don't mind fishing, but hunting, I cannot believe guys that take a gun and shoot a deer or something like that. I mean, I got some deer around my cottage, and they're so tame. I went to the guys that hunt, and I said, why don't you take them up with a hammer and hit them? So I don't like guys that kill things.
All right, so come on and come and see our new studio, and when you get here, I'll put a hook in your mouth and Brunt's mouth. I'll give it a little tug. I'll pull you across the room, then I'll take the hook out, and let's see if you guys are okay.
I cannot believe that you can't believe that you got the fish going. Steven, straighten that guy out.
I've been trying for years, Don, as you well know. But Bob does love the great outdoors, so I'm sure we can get him out there.
I've been outdoors once or twice.
Get him on a river somewhere, and we can teach him something.
I was in the backyard the other night.
Yeah, I saw you. I saw that picture in Chill where the full page, you look like white as a ghost. This guy's never been outside. You look like Dracula.
Oh, great. Are we going to start again, Grapes?
Oh, no. We just got back together at what?
I know.
5 years.
I know. It was a long divorce. All right. We got to get out of here. You got things to do. Well, I don't know if you got anything to do, but listen, go do it and come and see us sometime, will you?
I certainly will. All right. See you guys. Say hello to all my friends in Newfoundland.
Yes,
darn right.
You betcha.